Those of you who have been following along since I began doing this on YouTube will know there's one area of the game that I have a particular problem with. One area of the game that frustrates me more than anything else. An area of the game that I have no control over and is controlled entirely by the game itself. And I've questioned this in the past. And did it just happen again? Did the game just cheat? Let's go and kick some balls. Hello and welcome back to The Road to Glory, part 64, season 7, in our first season here at Preston. And as you know, if you have been following along, it's been quite a wonderful season so far. Having taken over when Preston were in dire straits, we have guided them to 6th in the championship. And today we will be playing at home to Cardiff in the FA Cup 5th round, and a victory will put us into the quarterfinals. And I felt very good about our chances of reaching the quarterfinals. And then we will follow that with a home fixture in the championship against Ipswich, who are currently struggling a little bit. And they are currently in, where are Ipswich? Currently in 23rd position. A game we should win, but I think a game we should be very careful about. And I do want to talk later about a tweak that we might have to make in terms of our tactic. But before we get into all that, if you are new to the channel and you like FM content and you love to see people suffer playing the game, then why not subscribe, like, watch and comment, help our channel to grow and help us to support the very good stuff that you can see scrolling up above. And while we're on that subject, many thanks to STS, who's one of the kindest, most generous guys I think I've ever come across. And thanks to his latest donation, we now have raised over £250 in the first 4 weeks since we set up the Just Giving page. And if you are of a mind to contribute, then I will leave a link to the Just Giving page in the description below. And it doesn't matter, even if it's just £1 or £2. Every little counts, and it will mount up, and together we can make a difference. But now let's focus on the pitch, and in particular let's focus on the problems that we have today. But today I am also going to be addressing the question, did the game just cheat? Because we were on a roll, and if we go to what has happened on the pitch since you were last here, there were not many games since you were last here, and you saw us beating Fulham by 4-0 quite comprehensively. This tactic has been a phenomena. And then we beat Nottingham Forest away by 3-0, and that was followed by a game against QPR in which we drew 2-2 away, and we were 2-0 down at half-time, and I had to make some drastic changes at half-time which enabled us to come back into that game. And then finally we beat Brentford by 1-0 and what was quite comfortable victory, but we struggled to score. But 1-0 will do for me, and what that means is that it's put us up into 6th. I think we were at 6th the last time you were here, but it has made us, I think, favourites of the teams below us to actually reach the playoffs. But in order to understand why I'm accusing the game of cheating, you'll have to understand that now the next 3 weeks becomes extremely critical for us. Critical because if we go to the medical centre and we look at our current injuries, you can see that we have Musa Mohammed out for 4 to 7 weeks. We have Edmilson Fernandez out for 2 to 5 weeks. We have Ben Whiteman out for 8 days to 4 weeks. He was originally out for up to 6 weeks. So we are struggling in terms of injuries, and what you might notice is that 1, 2, 3 of those are midfielders. And what that actually means in terms of our squad now, we have just 3 midfielders left. And the secret to what has been happening, if we look at the tactic, then it is very, very simple to understand this tactic. And there is only one key player in this tactic, and that is this man here, the DLP. And the problem that the AI has had reading this tactic is that they can't get hold of him. He is our key player, but because we are sitting deeper, he is getting a lot of space within which to ply his trade. And everything that we do is going through this man here, whether it be McCann or Whitehead or Matata of late. It's going through this person, and all the key passes leading to our goals are coming through the DLP. And because he's sitting slightly deeper than normal, the AI are having trouble getting hold of him. They are also distracted by the other members of the team scattered over the pitch, who have very little importance to what the tactic has to offer. And the only real important man is this one. And so what the AI has done is attack this area. And by attack this area, what I mean is that the injuries have been in the main to our midfielders, and so what they're doing is decimating the midfield in order to stop this tactic working. And just to show that it is through this area that things are happening, just take a look at some of the goals that we've scored lately. And so clearly you can see that it is through this area that most of our attacks are happening, and this is because it's very, very difficult for the AI to pick him up. Now, if we go back to the schedule and we look at this game against QPR, at this point when we were 2-0 down against Queen's Park Rangers, I was thinking, finally the AI have worked it out. But I made some drastic changes at halftime. 4 players were having absolutely dreadful games, so I immediately switched them over. But I also thinking it can't all be due to the players. So what I thought was, let's have a look at the heat maps. So at halftime, I had a look at the heat maps, which at that time were showing me this. And what that was showing me was that this area of the pitch was very, very condensed. And this is where my DLP lives. And so what it seemed to me like was finally a team has worked out how to actually shut him out of the game. So as well as substituting the 4 players who had extremely bad games, I decided we needed to play the game further up the pitch, which would then mean that the DLP would have more space back here because he's told to hold his position, and then he'd have the space to drift into wherever he wanted to go, and the team could look for him and find him better with his passes. I suspected Queen's Park Rangers had worked out they needed to shut him down, and the heat map was showing me that that might be the case. So in the second half, having pushed much further up the pitch, this is what we found. Much more of the game was being played in their half of the pitch, and that meant that our DLP now had much more space to actually function in the game, and as a result we managed to pull the game back to 2-2, and we could have actually won the game with a little bit more luck. We could have won the game at the death, but it wasn't to be, and we had managed to salvage a draw, and our brilliant run just kept going and going. And so against Brentford, with the same tactic exactly, we managed to overcome Brentford. But while this has been happening, these 2 games and Nottingham Forest, we have suffered a horrendous injury crisis, particularly decimating the midfield. Now, I know a lot of you who followed me over the last year or so will know that I have a problem with the AI always attacking my fullbacks and always injuring my fullbacks. And that's because I always believed that if you have extremely good fullbacks, then you are a very good side. And so the first thing I do is strengthen fullbacks in the transfer window. Make the flanks better, protect the flanks better, and then you have a very, very good side. And I was always getting injuries to fullbacks. Now it seems the key player is in midfield. I'm getting injuries in midfield now, and it's been a theme throughout this run. So my question to you guys is this a way that the game can cheat you? This is an area that I do not have any control over. Is it a way that the game can use to try to make it a more level playing field when you have got the upper hand? Let me know what you think. Am I just speculating wildly here, or is there something in this? Do you have similar experiences? Let me know. And so what I was thinking about for the next couple of games, maybe 3 or 4 games, is it possible, given that the QPR result was due to them possibly closing down this DLP, is it possible that the game is giving me a clue that I need to change things, and that I need maybe to think about what happened against QPR, and when I pushed the lines up and pressed them more, we actually achieved a much better result. And when I added to that the counter press, we were a lot better in the second half. Is the game trying to tell me to change the system now? I still have enough midfielders, and I even have Lindsay, who can play as a defensive midfielder. He's not going to function very well as a deep line playmaker, although he has played there before and did a fairly decent job. So I still have enough in terms of midfielders to put out a side that can keep its shape. And I think it is time to maybe gamble and go for it a little bit. And so if we have a look at what's coming up, we are going to be playing Cardiff at home in the FA Cup 5th round, and then we'll follow that with a game against Ipswich, who are in 22nd place in the Championship. That's a game we should be winning. Maybe it is time to change the tactic. Let's go and kick some balls. And so we have decided not to play in the more positive way with the higher lines against Cardiff. And the bad news that we've had is that we have picked up another injury. And our right back, Hughes, has also got himself injured for a week. And now we are having to play our very, very emergency backup, Hay, as a right back on support. And so it just gets worse at the moment. And this is an issue that I do have with FM. It was a training injury on a day that when there was no training scheduled. So the team, anyway, it is what it is. The team is Woodman in goal, with Hay, Digaregpu, Lindsay, Nizet at the back, Mateta, McCann, Corbeanu in midfield, and Doherty, Jean-Jules and Surridge up front. And I don't think that we have a chance against Cardiff, and I think it's just not going to happen. I think the game is trying to level it up, and I'm going to say right here and now that we are going to lose this football match, because we've been on such a run, and I can see what the game is up to. It's leveling the playing field, and we just have to put up with that. And the tactic, I think, has been found out, and so we're going to have to put up with what the game decides now and just take it on the chin. And if it does go badly today against Cardiff, then what we will do is we'll put the more positive formation style into play against Ipswich in our next outing. But there is a long punt upfield, and McCann has got the ball. He finds Corbeanu on the right, and he's looking for Jean-Jules. Jean-Jules looking to take it forward. We need a big game from him, actually. Jean-Jules looking for Mateta. Mateta to McCann. McCann inside to Nizet. Nizet with the drive. We've gone a goal ahead. I take it all back. Maybe I'm just wildly speculating. What a move. Again, they were looking for Mateta. This is the key to this. And Mateta's just roaming around wherever he feels like it. He's on a defend duty, but he's just outside the box. And Nizet coming inside from full back. and he's blasted us 1-0 up. And at the moment, things couldn't be rosier in the garden. We're actually in control of the game, and Corbeanu, he fires a free kick in. There's a header, it hits the crossbar and goes over. We are controlling the game. We've had 70% of the possession. We're creating the chances, although not too many, but enough. Joe Rawls, we have to keep an eye on. He's a little bit of a problem by the look of it, but we'll deal with that if it starts to get out of hand. At the moment, he's only connecting with 80% of his passes, but it's the match momentum. We are absolutely in control. It's all Preston at the moment, and here is Nizet again. Nizet, he's looking inside for Lindsay. Lindsay to Mateta. And here is Mateta again. Everything is going through him again, and we have made it 2-0, and Surridge has buried it. That was a strike. It has been disallowed. That possibly could have been the goal of the season. He was in an offside position. What a strike. What a pass to put him in. And that would have been goal of the season without a shadow of a doubt. And it's still Preston 1, Cardiff 0. We are still dominating proceedings. Cardiff are looking very, very tired, and maybe we should be looking to focus our play down the right, because they are looking a little bit tired, and I think that's what I'm going to tell the boys to do. Focus the play down the right, and let's go and tell them that I'm quite impressed. But I think we need to go and put out a real show out there now. We can win this quite easily, and hopefully that's exactly what we will do. We have several players playing very well, and we are dominating the match. We're just not scoring as freely as I would like to, but enough. And Cardiff have made a change or two, have they, I think, and I maybe need to look at that, because they do have a free kick. And Solly Marsh is over the ball, looks to fire in the free kick. That should be the goalkeeper's. It's headed off the goalkeeper, and somehow we've survived that, but I do think it's coming back in. That was very, very sloppy defending, and I'm going to shout at them and tell the entire team they need to focus a little bit more. That was absolutely terrible. I think it is time to make some changes. And so we have made a few changes. Not only are Cardiff struggling for fitness, but we are also struggling for fitness as well. But it remains Preston 1, Cardiff 0. We don't need to do anything panicky at the moment. I think we're still controlling them. I'm going to shut down Joe Rawls, I think. He's beginning to worry me a little bit, Joe Rawls. And we do have Corbeanu, who is extremely tired as well. But at the moment, I don't have any substitutions left. But if we can just hold on, it's Preston 1, Cardiff 0. We are almost there, boys. Almost there. We're everybody looking at Cardiff. They are out on their feet. We are so tired. There is going to be one last highlight as Mateta looks for Niandulu. Niandulu, who is quite fresh. He's breaking inside, looking for the shot. It's fired in, and the goalkeeper makes a save. We are into the last 20 seconds of the game. Please don't tell me that Cardiff are going to pinch a goal in the last 20 seconds. We have won the ball. Jean-Jules picks it up in midfield. He's looking to fire a through ball. He can't. It comes to Lindsay. Lindsay hoofs it up the field. That's the way to do it. And Cardiff are looking to throw it long as well. It's all a bit hectic, and the full-time whistle has gone, I think. It is Preston 1. Cardiff 0. I have no idea how we have done that. We weren't at our best, but we got the result. I have no idea how that was done. But again, I think you saw everything goes through the DLP. And when that is working, then it works extremely well. We have a game next week to play against Ipswich. And we need to go and get ready for the Ipswich game. And as long as nothing happens in the meantime, we will see you in just a very short time when we will be at home to Ipswich in the Championship. And we are quickly back before we go off to the Ipswich game with the news that the FA Cup draw has been made and we have been drawn away at Chelsea in the quarter-final. So I think that is probably the end of the FA Cup for Preston, but we can all be very proud. And as long as we don't get annihilated, I'll be extremely happy. But now we do have a game to play at home to Ipswich, a potential banana skin. I hate these banana skins. We have to go out there, we're going to just follow the style of play that has served us so well and see what happens. We do have a plan B, but let's hope that we don't need it. Let's go and kick some balls. And so the team for today is Cox in goal, Norton Cuffy making a return at right back, with Digbareku, Lindsay and Nizet at the back, Mateta, McCann and Corbeanu in midfield, with Jean-Jules, Doherty and Surridge up front. It's a fairly unchanged team from the team that won against Cardiff. We've just got to get out there today and make sure that we do the business, because Ipswich are a team that are struggling, and I keep saying that to the players, and I think we're doing well. We're on a good run, and I need a strong defence today. I'm expecting you to control the midfield, and I'm expecting quality finish. I'm telling the team I'm expecting a lot of them, and we need to dominate possession as we do. We need to take control of the game, but most importantly, I'm more worried that we are not taking our chances at the moment. And it is Norton Cuffy with the throw, finds Corbeanu. He's looking for Jean-Jules down the right. He looks inside, and here is Mateta. Mateta to Jules. Jules looking probably again for Mateta. Mateta with the through ball, and this time it doesn't find its target. And it is going to be Ipswich bringing the ball out. And they look like they are going to play out from the back. And maybe if things don't work out properly, what I might do if they are playing the ball out from the back is put pressure on them up the top. And we do have this standard line which does help us to make sure they can't get balls over the top at us. And Mateta finds Lindsay to Digbareku. He finds Jean-Jules. Jean-Jules very much involved in the game here. He finds back to Digbareku. Norton Cuffy finds Corbeanu on the right wing. And we have got our fullbacks at least back to full strength. There's a ball into the box and McCann. McCann has made it 1-0. This tactic is rolling. And we have gone a goal up. And it's that low cross again into the box from the flanks near the edge of the penalty area. And that's one of the things about playing narrow, is that we cross the ball from narrow and it's pinged across the floor, and McCann coming in as a box-to-box should, and he makes it 1-0 to Preston. It's as good a start as it could have asked for. And we are completely in control. We're not dominating possession, and I think that's because Ipswich are playing it out from the back, and so they're keeping the ball very nicely at the back, but we just need to make sure they're not going to be progressing up the pitch too much, and that is my big worry. And maybe we're going to have to close them down a little bit more than we are actually closing them down. And they have won the ball, and I think I'm actually going to do that. This is looking like it's not working out for us, but we have got our foot in there, and McCann has found Doherty. Doherty looking to progress down the left. Can he get across in? Let's zip it into the box, but it's cleared, and Ipswich have the chance to clear it, and they do, and they are going to mount a counter-attack, and we do have to be very, very careful. But that's a beautiful tackle from Digbareku, and what an asset he's been since that we signed him in the January window. And here is Corbeanu, but he's had the ball taken off. So Ipswich are pressing well, and we need to retaliate a little bit better than what we're doing. And there's a lovely ball into space. They are through. They will score. It's 1-1. And I am right. I think what we need to do is put pressure on them. So plan B is going to come into operation, and we are going to press them a little bit more, and we are going to counter-press them, because I don't like how they are playing the ball around at the back, and they are creating space by doing that and drawing us forward. I think we're just going to get in their face and rely on the fact that we are a better team than them to remain defensively solid. And Greenwood, he's a very good player. And why Ipswich are struggling so near the bottom of the table, I don't know. But it is Preston 1, Ipswich 1. It's not a disaster at the moment. We're still in 6th. I don't want it to become a disaster. That's why I've changed the system a little bit. And we are still in 6th. We still are unbeaten in what is now 18 games in the Premier League, and we don't want to be beaten here. And Cox is going to send a long ball forward, and remembering that we are further up the field now, McCann picks it up in midfield. He finds Nizet. Nizet is looking inside to McCann. McCann with a lovely pass into Doherty. Doherty finds Surridge, and that is 2-1. That was beautiful football. One touch passing, and that has made it Preston 2, Ipswich 1. McCann found Nizet. What a pass this was from McCann. Doherty was in acres of space, didn't hesitate, saw Surridge in space, and Surridge has scored for the 22nd time this season. What a lovely, lovely move that was. Team goal of the highest order, and it is now Preston 2, Ipswich 1. That's better football. Now we're playing a lot better than we were earlier on, and I think we didn't want to be giving Ipswich all that space at the back. And it is Ipswich, though, with a throw. We may, by pushing the lines up, we may have made ourselves a little bit more vulnerable. And we do need to get this press in order, as Surridge was lacking a little bit there for pressing forward. He didn't do very, very well there. Ipswich are looking to play the ball around, but we have pinched it, and Jean-Jules is bringing it forward. Almost feeds the ball through, but he's won it back again. Good football by Jean-Jules into Surridge, and Surridge has made it 3-1. And I think now we are going to run away with this. Surridge on form at last. He hasn't been playing all that well in the last couple of fixtures, but he's found his shooting boots again, and it's now 3-1. What a manager. Plan B. I always had a plan B, bearing in mind that what we did against QPR, because QPR were keeping the ball very well at the back, launching counter-attacks then and catching us out. But we've actually outthought Preston today. We were ready for this, and we have managed to go 3-1 up. And I'm going to say it's important to stay focused in the second half. Don't get complacent. And we are currently in 6th place, 3 points ahead of Cardiff. There are just 11 games to go in the season. But if we're looking at these stats here, we are absolutely dominating the match. And Ipswich have had very, very little to offer in this game. Apart from that one chance they had, which they scored from, they've done very little. And the press now is working. And we have won the ball back, and it's looking for Doherty, but it goes safely all the way back to the goalkeeper. Never know what's going to happen with these highlights. It seems to have come to nothing, but it will build from here, and I'm guessing something will happen. Corbeanu finds Cuffy. Nice to have Cuffy back in the team. Might give him a little bit of a rest, a breather at the moment, because he's been out for a while. Lovely pass over to Nizet. We are playing some lovely football. That's a long punt forward by Nizet. Doesn't find its man, and we have had the ball turned over. But the press is working. They don't look very calm at the back anymore. And we are winning the ball now when they are playing it long. And that's exactly what Plan B is, to make them... put them under pressure, make them play long balls. Surridge is in. It's 4-1. That is a delightful volley. And now it's probably game over. We've outfoxed Ipswich. I feel very proud of myself. Just that one... I thought about it even after we went ahead. It looked to me like Ipswich were playing the ball around at the back. We were giving them too much time, too much space. We've totally countered that, and we are now totally in control. and maybe it is time to go and make some changes. I think we'll leave it until 70 minutes are up, and then we'll make a couple of changes, give some boys a rest. As Corbeanu is looking down the line, can't find his man, and Ipswich are trying to bring it forward, but they can't. And I'm going to just nip back to a balanced mentality now. I just want to hold on to what we've got. We don't need to do anything special from here. We need to be safe and secure at the back and make sure we don't do anything silly. And Corbeanu has been taken out, and I'm thinking that Ipswich are going to get a red card. That is his second yellow. And Sam Greenwood has been sent off. And now we are in total control. And now I can go away and make some changes. And so we have made a few changes. And it's just we can give some boys a run out. And probably I might, depending on who gets tired, we might be able to give Jones a run out at centre-back. And here's Nizet. Nizet finds Matete. Matete, again, looking with this long ball over the top. And it is fired behind when he was not under pressure at all, and because we've been pressing them, maybe he thought he was under pressure. And we do have a corner, and Collier will take the corner into the box. There's the header. I thought that had gone in. It remains 4-1. We are deadly from set pieces, and the secret to being successful as set pieces is train them, and attacking corners followed by attacking free kicks. Train them every single week, and we do that on Wednesday, and it does make a difference. There's another header. It's cleared off the line. I thought that was going in. It comes all the way out to Jean-Jules, and the highlight comes to nothing. And I just noticed that Brodie Hughes was looking a bit tired, and so we've decided to take Brodie Hughes off. Ipswich really haven't caused us any problems today. Once we changed the system, we beat them hands down, fair and square. And as time is running out, there is going to be one last highlight. It is going to be with Ipswich, but I don't mind. You can go and score from this. We beat you 4-2 in the last game when we first arrived at Preston. We'll beat you 4-2 again. I don't mind. There's a long ball over the top. It looks like they are in. They are going to score. It's 4-2, but I don't mind. We'll give you that one as a consolation. And we are marching on. That's all that matters to me. And I don't think we want to see that again. It was a good goal. And it is now Preston 4, Ipswich 2. And it is full time. And we've totally hammered them. Once I changed the system, it was game over. Nice work, everyone. That was extremely good. And so it just keeps rolling on and on and on here at Ipswich, and that one has kept us in 6th. We are still only 1 point ahead of Cardiff, but we do have a game in hand. I do feel that if this continues, we might even get into the promotion spots. Who knows? And I think we will play through the rest of the month. I can't see anything happening against Chelsea, but maybe we will come back one last time and we'll play Chelsea in the FA Cup quarter-final, and we'll follow that with Bristol City in the Championship. I think so. Why not come back and watch what happens in the quarter-final? It will either be a disaster or we will shock the footballing world. And that's it for this episode. Our run just keeps going and going and going, and we cannot be defeated. We're looking invincible at the moment. And so if you are new to the channel and you like FM content, why not subscribe, like, watch and comment, help the channel to grow, and help us to support the very worthwhile cause that you can see scrolling up above. And as this machine keeps rolling on and on and on, and we seem to be getting better and better and better, I will bid you all farewell, and I will see you in the next episode.